Africa, a continent of immense diversity, sweeping beauty, and profound history. Spanning over 30 million square kilometers, it is the second largest and the second most populous continent on Earth. From the Mediterranean coastline of the north, through the vast Saharan sands, and down to the lush rainforests and savannas of the center and south, Africa's landscapes are as varied as its people and cultures. To truly grasp Africa's essence, one must appreciate its ancient roots. Often recognized as the cradle of humankind, Africa boasts a human history that stretches back millions of years. Archaeologists have unearthed staggering proof of early human life in eastern Africa. The famous fossils of hominids like Lucy and tools left by our ancestors tell the story of humanity's earliest days. Today, Africa is home to over 1.3 billion people who belong to thousands of distinct ethnic groups and speak more than 2,000 languages. From the Hausa and Yoruba of West Africa to the Zulu and Xhosa of the southern region and the Berber and Arab peoples of North Africa, these cultures each contribute unique traditions, music, culinary arts, and ways of life. One cannot talk about Africa without acknowledging its remarkable natural wonders. The continent hosts dramatic landscapes, the rolling dunes of the Sahara Desert, the world's largest hot desert, the snow-capped peaks of Mount Kilimanjaro rising above the plains of Tanzania, the emerald rainforests of the Congo Basin teeming with wildlife, and the legendary Nile River, which winds for over 6,600 kilometers, nurturing civilizations for millennia. Africa's wilderness supports some of the planet's most iconic wildlife. The Serengeti Plains of Tanzania and Kenya witness the annual migration of wildebeest and zebra, one of Earth's most spectacular wildlife events. In southern Africa, elephants roam the savannas, while gorillas make their home in the misty forests of Rwanda and Uganda. Off the coasts, coral reefs bustle with marine life, and whales trace ancient migratory paths through the Atlantic and Indian Oceans. Yet the natural riches of Africa go beyond its fauna and flora. Beneath its surface lies a wealth of resources: gold and diamonds, oil and gas, cobalt and copper. For centuries, these riches have drawn the attention, and often the exploitation, of the outside world. The legacy of colonization is an indelible part of Africa's story, marked by both struggle and resilience. European powers carved up the continent in the late 19th century, drawing borders with little regard for the intricate tapestry of local cultures and societies, and left behind divided nations as they eventually departed, sparking long-lasting political and socio-economic challenges. Despite these challenges, Africa's heart beats with hope and creativity. In every city and village, there are stories of people working to shape brighter futures for themselves and their communities. In bustling metropolises like Lagos, Nairobi, and Johannesburg, technology and innovation are taking root. Energetic entrepreneurs launch startups, youth embrace digital platforms, and local artists blend traditional music with contemporary beats, showcasing the pulse of a modern Africa. Africa's agricultural scene is equally dynamic. Smallholder farmers cultivate lands that provide the staple crops and vibrant spices found in kitchens across the continent and beyond. The continent produces much of the world's cocoa, coffee, tea, and exotic fruits, feeding families at home and powering economies through trade. Education is another story of progress. Across the continent, more children than ever attend school. Initiatives by governments, NGOs, and community leaders work to build schools, train teachers, and open doors for girls and marginalized groups. New universities and technical colleges are nurturing the next generation of scientists, doctors, and leaders. Music, dance, and art are woven into the fabric of African societies. The hypnotic rhythms of West African drums have influenced global music genres from jazz to hip-hop. The kora, balafon, and imbra bring out haunting melodies that echo through the centuries. In modern times, African artists dominate global music charts, while filmmakers tell stories that captivate international audiences. Festivals, both old and new, celebrate the continent's rich heritage. In Ethiopia, vibrant processions of Timkat mark Epiphany each January. In Morocco, The Kanawa World Music Festival brings musicians from across the globe. South Africa's Cape Town Minstrel Carnival and Nigeria's Ayo Festival fill city streets with color and life, inviting everyone to join in the joy and unity. Africa's spiritual traditions are just as diverse. Islam, Christianity, indigenous religions, and newer beliefs coexist, each shaping daily life and values in their own ways. In the ancient churches carved from stone in Lalibela, Ethiopia, or the grand mosques of Cairo and Dakar, faith is both a source of solace and a foundation for community life. Of course, Africa faces profound challenges, from poverty and unequal development to health crises and political instability. Malaria, HIV, AIDS, and other diseases have imposed a heavy toll, but local innovation and international support have led to remarkable advances in healthcare and disease prevention. While political tensions and conflict persist in some regions, there are also inspiring examples of peace-building and reconciliation, from the end of apartheid in South Africa to the democratic transitions seen in several nations. One of the greatest strengths of Africa is its youth. Over 60% of the continent's population is under the age of 25, making it the youngest continent on Earth. This immense wellspring of energy, creativity, and ambition offers promise for the future. Young Africans are using technology to connect, learn, and share ideas in ways that reshape society and foster new opportunities. The story of Africa is not one of a single nation, language, or tradition, but of thousands, richly varied, deeply interconnected, and constantly evolving. It's a mosaic of past and present, of ancient kingdoms like Mali, Ghana, and Kush, and bustling modern megacities, of timeless wilderness and rising skylines, of injustices endured and victories won. To talk about Africa is to speak of resilience, creativity, and vibrant community. It is to honor the legacy of trailblazers like Nelson Mandela, Wangari Maathai, Chinua Achebe, and Miriam Makeba, and to recognize the quiet, everyday heroism of countless mothers, fathers, teachers, and workers. It is to see a land with challenges, yes, but also unimaginable resources, human and natural, waiting to be unlocked. As Africa strides into the future, its story is not one simply to be watched from afar, but to be engaged with, learned from, and celebrated. The heartbeat of Africa is the heartbeat of humanity itself, complex, enduring, and always moving forward. Thanks for watching, supporting, sharing, and subscribing this videos.